India won a glorious victory against Pakistan in the 1971 war. It was the first decisive victory in a major war in centuries. Every Indian patriot felt proud of this glittering chapter in the nation's history. To celebrate the momentous occasion of the 50th anniversary of the war, Indeed Foundation is proud to bring alive the memories and experiences of the war veterans. Every week, we meet a brave soldier who fought valiantly at our borders. This week's guest of honor is Lieutenant Colonel Rajendra Singh, Sena Medal Gallantry of the Sindh Horse. The Sindh Horse was deployed in the general area of Dinanagar to Bhamani, village near the river Ravi. Thank you for being with us, sir.
My pleasure, ma'am.
So let's start with your early childhood. Where did you grow up and what motivated you to join the military?
Actually, my father, Colonel Prithvi Singh, he was in the J&K State Forces in the bodyguard cavalry, and he was ADC with Maharaja Hari Singh. And he fought the battle with our Chief of Army Staff of Jammu and Kashmir, that is the brave Brigadier Rajendra Singh Ji. He is the first MVC of India, because the state forces have joined India on the 26th after signing the instrument of accession. Therefore, he was awarded this award posthumously. And I got all my inspiration from my father, who fought along with the 100 under him. And he fought the first Battle of Gadi, which is the first delaying position of Brigadier Rajendra Singh's small force, which stopped 6,000 intruders who were coming in vehicles, and he managed to delay them, plus capture the leading vehicle. But unfortunately, he got wounded twice. Once in his left leg, 24 stitches were required. Since he was a hero of that particular battle, he's always motivated me right through life, and I always want to emulate him.
That's really nice. So, as a young lieutenant, with the war looming, what were your feelings like? You knew there was a war. Okay, let's get back to. So, tell us about when you joined the OTA and then you joined the unit. Let's start from there, sir.
Okay. Firstly, in the Officers Training Academy, I was a company under officer of Zojila Company, and my company got the best company during the passing out parade, and I was given on behalf of my company the Chief of Army Staff's banner.
Okay.
Thereafter, I joined my regiment, the Sindh Horse. It is a regiment which is very old, that is 1838, and within 5 years of our raising, we fought the first battle against the Amir of Sindh, and we captured the principal standard of Mir Nasir Khan. Because of this, Sir Charles Napier, he gave us 9 standards, which no other regiment in the world has got. So we are the only regiment in the whole world which can parade 9 standards on parade. This was up to 1947, because after that, we have taken the history from 1947 onwards, and we were the first to receive the President's banner, and we were again the first that way. And this regiment is very old and fought so many battles. We got 26 battle and theatre honors to our credit.
आप जब युद्ध की अनाउंसमेंट की गई तो आप कहाँ थे एंड आपकी यूनिट को कैसे डिप्लॉय किया गया, कहाँ डिप्लॉय किया गया?
Actually, I had gone for my YOs and the young officers course to Ahmednagar sometime in October, and around mid-October they terminated our course, and on my course was my good friend from Pune Horse, late Second Lieutenant Arun Khetarpal, Paramveer Chakra.
Right.
And we all joined our unit. So my unit was deployed in the area Dinanagar to Bamni village and then the Ravi River. We were right next to that. So the moment we got the orders to move in, that came at on around 8th, 9th of December. Though the war started off on 3rd with enemy flying low overhead and all and going straight for Pathankot airfield. The same night, Indira Gandhi ji, the Prime Minister of India, she declared war on Pakistan. So on 8th and 9th night, we moved into Pakistan through a bridgehead provided by the infantry and went to the area north of village Nainakot. From Nainakot, there were two roads, one going to the left, that is Noorkot, the right one went to Shakargarh, which was our objective. So while we were in this area, one of our tanks had gone over a minefield also, plus one tank had been hit by RCL. And then the enemy armor came in. And our leading squadron was Alpha Squadron, which came under direct fire from the enemy tanks. And the RHQ, the regimental headquarters with our CO, Brigadier Sukhjit Singh, Maharaja of Kapurthala, who later got a Mahavir Chakra, he was right behind the leading squadron. So he took a quick decision that one squadron to be in contact, that is Alpha Squadron, Bravo and Charlie Squadron to go on a left hook, get behind the enemy and knock them off. Despite the minefield that we had encountered, so we didn't have trawls and other things to negotiate that. So the CO said, forget about mines and other things. I'm prepared to go for a few tanks losses, but we have to get behind them. And we did that, and by God's grace, not one tank went over a mine after that. And we got behind the enemy, shot up 8 tanks. Alpha Squadron got 4 tanks. Bravo Squadron got 4 tanks. And the enemy, that is 31st Cavalry and B Squadron, which was commanded by Major Nasrullah Khan, we had sorted them out more or less completely and captured Second Lieutenant Naib Iftikhar and his tank. 5 tanks were with us in one area and 3 tanks were on the other side, nearer to the enemy. And this is how we got this battle of Malakpur Ka battle honor thereafter.
Sir, can you throw some more light on this battle of Shakargarh Bulge? What was the importance of Shakargarh Bulge at that point of time? You know, geographically.
Yeah, I will explain it to you that Shakargarh was a major objective, not only for us. We went in from the Punjab side, from Dinanagar side. On Jammu and Pathankot road, the enemy was prepared to come in. Therefore, Pune Horse, Hodson's Horse, 16 Cavalry, that's part of 16 Armored Brigade, went in from the Samba sector, and you know how well they fought and destroyed the enemy armor, which was prepared to actually come and cut off Jammu and things. Then as you come towards Pathankot, there's a place called Ghagwal. From Ghagwal, 2nd Independent Armored Brigade went in with 7th Cavalry, 1st Horse and 1st Dogras. And then our sector. So all 3, the objective was to go to Shakargarh and take it. Whereas from on the north, 16 Armored Brigade, that is with Pune Horse, the moment they tried to break out, their Armored Brigade attacked them in the bridgehead. And the whole regiment went in and they ensured that the enemy could not come in. Then as you come down to 2nd Independent Armored Brigade, the same thing happened. They tried their best and all to come in, but our own forces stopped them. And in fact, we made a tank crawl lane, that is Captain Jay Jind of 7th Cavalry. He did that because we wanted to go in from that side. But the enemy armor and the infantry was in large strength there, so they could not make any headway. We were the only ones who managed to advance after the bridgehead, and we managed to get right inside, fought a pitched battle, tank versus tank engagement in Malakpur area and Kanwal area. Thereafter, in Bisu Buzur, where we lost an officer, a very close friend of mine from Charlie Squadron, Second Lieutenant KJ Singh. He had shot 2 enemy tanks, and after that, one of the people who they could not have detected was in the bushes, and he fired a missile, a Cobra missile. That Cobra missile got the turret of this tank, and he was standing open up. So he got it right across his face and shoulder. That all got burnt off, and he died instantaneously. And I went and evacuated his body later. And that was a sad part of the thing, because he was a very, very close friend of mine. And later on, after the war, his mother, we took her to the same place. And while we were walking up where his tank was shot, there were a lot of leaves and all lying on the ground, and his mother just kicked a leaf and like walking, and his epaulette, the left epaulette, half burned, had fallen there, and the mother found it. The moment I looked at it, half her colors were there on one side, so I told her that it's your son, and she started crying. Like it was such a sentimental thing, and that's how it was.
Sir, did you sustain any injuries or wounds during the war? Did you sustain any injuries or wounds during the war? Did you sustain any injuries or wounds?
No, I was lucky. I was not wounded, though. On the 10th December night, a platoon of 4 grenadiers had to go for protection of Alpha Squadron tanks at night. They were ahead of Nainakot in a place called Dogar. So when I went over there, I went to the adjutant first. He told me I have to go and pick up that platoon from near a big Badaka Ped. And I went towards that side. Captain Shamlal was the platoon commander, and he was giving orders to his platoon Havaldar. And suddenly a lot of shelling came. So we all lay down on the ground. And in that shelling, one shell got the Havaldar on his back, and he died on the spot. And Captain Shamlal, who I was to take for this protection of my the squadron platoon, Alpha Squadron platoon, he was injured around the thighs and the stomach, and he was in a lot of pain. So I ran up to him and got next to him, and he told me ki I think my Havaldar was died. So I just checked the Havaldar, he was dead, and he says, I'm in a lot of pain. Can you take me to the about 70-80 yards was the regimental aid post where the doctor and all attends to them. So I put him on my one shoulder over me, and asked another of the guys to come out from the trench and help me carry him. So we carried him inside, handed him over to the doctor, and I told this Jawan, I said, get your platoon, the JCU and the platoon, and I'll take you all to where Alpha Squadron is. So I completed this task, and I got back and reported that the platoon is delivered to them, and all through every area, through intense shelling, I dropped the platoon to the squadron. And while I put my wounded friend, a body came in of a Sindh horseman, my regiment chap from Alpha Squadron, who had been killed in action by an enemy artillery shell. So he was brought in, and I was going out, and I saw this chap, and I saw the Sindh horse boy, and I asked him, I said, ki, ye kaun hai? He says, ki, LD Harchand Singh, he is no more. So they brought the body and put him on near the doctor for him to declare him dead and whatever formalities. And I said, और तो कोई wounded नहीं है. So he says, Rasaldar Pada from Alpha Squadron again, he was also nearby, and his leg has got, wounded enough. So I quickly ran out to the jeep where he was. He was sitting in the jeep because he couldn't get out. So we got 3-4 chaps together. So 4 of us, we lifted him out of the jeep, and I was holding the leg part where it was dangling by the flesh, just below the knee, and bleeding, despite they put putties and all on it. And so we carried him inside. And look at this man's Josh. I said, "Ki Saab, tusi kidda ho?" So that "Theek hai saab." And such a great chap. So then I took him in and we put him on the bed, and the doctor did to him. Unfortunately, they had to amputate this.
So how many casualties did the war inflict on the regiment?
Actually, we were quite lucky that our tanks got hit, but we had no fatal casualties excepting these two. That is LD Harchand Singh and Rasaldar Pada. And killed in action was my friend, Second Lieutenant KJ Singh, who I told you about.
Sir, आपको सेना मेडल गैलेंट्री अवार्ड से सम्मानित किया गया है. Can you please narrate the incident which led to you getting the award?
Yes, actually, I was awarded this medal for 2 particular incidences. That was once for the first point was about 10th of December, which I told you about, leading the platoon through enemy area amid heavy shelling and evacuation of the casualties. Then on 12th, I evacuated the casualty of my friend from the war area and back to the rear where our doctors attended. I had to attend to him because when we spoke on the signal net, they never said, because we never mentioned about a dead. So they said he's wounded. So I was hoping to see him alive and all, but unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Sorry, sir, to hear that.
And plus, there were another incident of taking a doctor right through a village which was held by the enemy, but because the tanks overran it, they ran away. And the infantry 10 guards, when they were assaulting Fatehgarh Afghana, I went through the thing assault and went ahead because they called me for evacuation of a casualty. And I had taken the doctor of 115 Infantry Brigade along with them. And this doctor got a VRC for going ahead of the infantry and beyond.
Okay. Beyond the call of duty, basically.
Yes, beyond the call of duty.
आपने बहुत ही कम उम्र में एक महत्वपूर्ण युद्ध में हिस्सा लिया. इससे आपकी सोच और व्यक्तित्व पर क्या प्रभाव पड़ा?
Actually, I was only 20 years old. For my mother, I was a child, and for my father also. But when I went into the battle, initially it seems to be just fun and all, with their aircraft firing at us, and it's like some of the movies which we've seen. But as you move on and you lose your dear friends, that is the time you wonder why we keep fighting with each other, whether it's our country or Pakistan or any country in the world.
Right.
It's a sad thing when you see your own dead. But you have to get along, you have to do your aim, whatever is given to us. And because of my father, that basic thing about patriotism was always there. And he had always told me, "Beta, if you have to get a bullet in any war, make sure that it's in the chest." That is how he was.
That's nice. So आज की युवा पीढ़ी को फौज ज्वाइन करने के लिए आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? How would you encourage them to join the army?
I think we have great citizens of India. The next generation is coming up very well. मैं सभी युवाओं को सिर्फ यही बोलना चाहता हूँ, try your best to join the army. Whichever school you're in, try and join the NCC to get the basic training if possible. और मेन चीज है कि बिल्कुल ईमानदारी की लाइफ आपको चाहिए और बहुत रिस्पेक्ट वाली लाइफ चाहिए, तो आप इंडियन आर्मी को ज्वाइन करिए, इंडियन एयरफोर्स को ज्वाइन करिए, या हमारी इंडियन नेवी को ज्वाइन करिए। और मेन चीज है अपने देश के लिए आपका पेट्रियोटिक वो स्वभाव होना चाहिए और आपको अपने देश के लिए मर मिटने के लिए तैयार रहना चाहिए।
Right, sir. So you had an illustrious career in the army. Tell us about your experience with tanks and the tough terrains.
Yes, actually, I have taken part in a number of exercises. The greatest one was exercise Brass Tacks 4,
Yes.
in which General Hanout was, I mean, our commander of Red Land. I mean, we had to go into like a Pakistan kind of a situation, and I was commanding an independent squadron. I learned a lot from that man. He was so clear about armored warfare and warfare in general. And we, of course, defeated the enemy, I mean, the exercise enemy properly, because we advanced on a very broad front, which is not normally done. And so it was a very, very good experience. Next experience that I had was when I was told to take the same squadron with new equipment, T-72 M1, and be the first medium tank squadron of India to get to Ladakh, to prove that we can go up to Chushul and all areas beyond Chushul.
Right.
So in January 1988, we got inducted into Ladakh by IL-76 aircrafts, one tank per IL-76, and we landed in Leh, and thereafter we went to Chushul sometime in June. That was 6th of June. I took 2 trial tanks across Changla Pass and proved that we could deploy our tanks over there. And after that, now there's over a brigade plus in Ladakh today.
Okay, sir. Sir, coming back to the 1971 war, any other memorable experience you would like to share with us? Kuch or some other memorable experience you would want to share with the audience?
Yes, the thing is that while the war is going on, when you come under the first artillery shelling, you realize that you are just walking around like a tough guy and all, and you have to show that you're not. You had to take immediately lying down on the ground, because the moment the artillery shell lands, it spreads all over and at a height which is above the ground. So lying down or getting into a trench is the best answer. And at night, we could make out with a little experience that you could see a flash, then a sound, ping, and then all over. So that's how we started getting to know that the moment you hear the sound, we used to just lie down and all, and make sure that the thing and kind of get away from being wounded and things.
Right.
And then we all went in fearlessly, because from my regiment, I mean, everybody performed. Well, ma'am, at night when the artillery, the enemy artillery fires at you from a distance, all you can see is a flash.
Right. Right.
After the flash, it makes a sound like a ping, and then all around. So we learned when to lie down, and before that, nothing really bothered us. Then, I mean, as far as the enemy is concerned, we learned from Second Lieutenant Naib Iftikhar, the prisoner, that the moment the tank gets hit, they bail out. So I asked him, I said, what's wrong with you here? Your gun is firing. Why didn't you stay on in your tank? So he said, sir, actually, as per Islam, if we are burnt inside or burnt, we do not attain Jannah. So this was a great point, and we told all our guys also, and I spread the word. And everybody in the regiment already knew, because some of them had the experience of 1965 war. So they used to fire first at them. Even if it hit the side, the hull part of it, they would bail out and run.
Right, sir. So it was indeed a pleasure having you with us. And we learned a lot about the war from you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Very, very kind of you. And Vikram.
Thank you very much, sir. It's an honor and pleasure.
Thank you, Vikram. Very kind of you, Vikram.
It's a pleasure entirely, sir. So kind of you that you shared these experiences. I hope our audience connects with them, learns more about the war, is inspired, and of course, they learn the values of patriotism, sacrifice, discipline, as well as what it means to fight for the country. And they salute all of us from the bottom of our hearts. We pay our respects, and we owe an ocean of gratitude to brave warriors like yourself who gave us this wonderful, splendid victory of 1971. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vikram, and salute to both of you. But before I end up, my hero in life is my father, who inspired me right through. This is Colonel Prithvi Singh, the hero of Battle of Gadi in 1947. He was wounded twice in battle. With that note, I wish to thank you both for such a wonderful interview with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.